Mutetwa Nyambose, representing the special people of Chasefu constituency in Eastern Province. Welcome once again.
Chair, thank you very much, Chair. Sama, you are most welcome to your committee and Happy New Year. I'm Honorable Simumba Lucas, Member of Parliament for Nakonde. Thank you very much.
Honorable Kamondo.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson, and good afternoon, Sama. My name is Elliot Kamondo, Member of Parliament from Fumbwe constituency. Thank you.
Honorable Mwanza.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, Sama Council. I'm Honorable Dr. Aaron Mwanza, Area Member of Parliament for Kaumbwe constituency of the Petoke District, Eastern Province. You are most welcome to your committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Sama Council. Good afternoon, honorable members of Parliament and our permanent witnesses. I am Honorable Kampapa Brenda. I am Member of Parliament for the good people of Kalushi, and I'm also Vice Chairperson of this committee.
Thank you very much, Vice Chair. Council Secretary, my name is Mulunda Darius. I'm a Member of Parliament for Siabunga constituency. I'm the Chairperson for the committee appearing before the Committee on Local Government Accounts. Under Cap 12 of the laws of Zambia, Council Secretary, members enjoy the immunity in the House, and the same immunity is extended to you when you appear before any parliamentary committee, that whatever you say during an interaction will not be used against you. However, if you choose to deliberately mislead this committee, misinform this committee, the same Cap 12 will be used against you. I have no doubt, however, in my mind that you will not mislead this committee, and that you are going to give this committee factual information, the information that we need to use to generate a very good report. With that, I will now invite you, Council Secretary, to make your submission with further guidance that you only read the query, and then you go to the cause of the query, you go to the action taken, and then the remedial measure you are offering. We may proceed in that fashion.
Thank you so much, Chair. Good afternoon once again. Good afternoon to all members of this committee. Thank you, Chair, for the opportunity to be heard as in Sama Town Council. Chair, allow me to submit to this committee on local government accounts for the report of the Auditor General, which is cited on paragraph 94 and includes also appendices 1, 2, 3, and 8 on the audit of the Constituency Development Fund accounts of Unsama Town Council for the financial year ended 31st December 2022. With your indulgence, Chair, allow me to proceed to page 5 of this report, which is already circulated to you, for specific findings under Chimbamilonga constituency. The first query relates to community projects and is on the completion of the 1x3 classroom block at Nsumbude Secondary School. Chair, as guided, I will go to management response, cause of the query. Chair, management acknowledges the auditor's observation and would like to make mention to this committee that the cracks that developed on the floor and the walls after the completion of the 1x3 classroom block at Nsumbude Secondary School was as a result of the following. One, to start with, the project was started by the community and the council came in just when the building was at war plate. The other reason, Chair, is that the scope of works did not include the floor. Action taken. Management desires to inform the committee that the contractor was engaged and had a discussion on the way forward over the cracks that had developed after the building was completed. Chair, the contractor has agreed to work on the cracks of the wall and the floor as part of corporate social responsibility since the whole amount was paid. And I wish to report, Chair, that he has mobilized the site and is working, just as you could see on as I refer you to, even before you look at the appendices, our remedial measure, Chair, is that management will ensure quality analysis tests are properly done before completion of community projects it can start. Let me refer you to Appendix 1.
No, Council Secretary, you continue submitting. Those ones will come during the question time, yeah.
Okay, thank you, Chair. We proceed to page 7 of my report on youth, women, and community empowerment. Chair, the query, I'll directly go to the management response.
Yes.
The query is on the youth, women, and community empowerment. Our management response, A, Chishingide multi-purpose. Cause of query. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings. The hammer mill was not procured, and as at the time of the audit, because the members opted to share part of the money and invested in farming inputs and goats without seeking approval from the CDF committee. Action taken, Chair. The members of the cooperatives that shared the money were taken to the police, and the commitment letter was signed by the members promising to pay back the shared money by 15th February 2024. Chair, as part of action taken, management has enhanced on monitoring, sensitization, and capacity building in financial management. Remedial measures, of course, Chair. On page 9, management will continue to monitor, sensitize, capacity build the clubs and cooperatives in financial literacy. We are giving again another management response to another cooperative, which is Kashilen Sama multi-purpose. The cause of the query, Chair, is that management acknowledges the auditor's observations and regrets to state that the members of the Kashilen Sama multi-purpose cooperatives sold the hammer mill. Action taken. Management has also reported this matter to the police. Remedial measures, management will continue sensitizing the clubs and cooperatives on the prudent use of the grant funds. We move on, Chair, to cross-cutting issues of the Auditor General's report, which is coming as Appendix 1 on budget performance. We are queried on the budget performance, and our response, Chair, is as follows. For the cause of query, management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's findings and report that the variance in funding of 1,960,087 kwacha was caused by the funds withheld at source for the procurement of the Constituency Development Fund Project Monitoring Vehicle and the Community Police Vehicle. Again, cause of the query on the interest of 278,513 was earned from the main Constituency Development Fund account and was not utilized. Further, Chair, the balance brought forward of 1,747,655 kwacha brought forward from 2021 represents one. Out of that money I mentioned, 1.6 million is as a result of the 2021 CDF allocation, which was received on 15th August 2021. And from that same 1.7 I mentioned, it's composed again of another 147,655, which was held as retention amounts for ongoing projects from 2020 CDF allocation. Cause of the query on the unspent funds amounting to 22,531,230 was as a result of the late issuance of Constituency Development Fund guidelines and the Chair some operational challenges faced by the Council at that time. Action taken. Management wishes to report that, one, we are reporting, Chair, on the our action taken. We wish to say, number one, the project monitoring and community police vehicles were received, and we have the numbers, the JRZ 532 and ZP 2749 respectively. Two, Chair, on action taken, the request has been made to the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development to utilize the earned interest of 278,513 for community projects. The third aspect of our action taken, Chair, the balance brought forward amounting to 1,747,655 has been utilized. The fourth action taken, Chair, is that we have since started utilizing the unspent funds amounting to 22,531,230,000 to implement the approved projects for 2022 CDF allocation. Our remedial measures, Chair, management wishes to report that the implementation of approved projects will be done in good time. I'm moving to Appendix 2 of cross-cutting issues, and the query is on failure to spend. We've been queried on our failure to spend according to this appendix in the Auditor General's report. I'll move to management response, Chair, as you guided. Cause of query. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings and wishes to report that the failure to spend was due to delayed implementation of projects because of, one, Number one was that we had delayed launch and the publication of constituency development funding guidelines. Number two, for the cause of the query, was that the initial 29 approved community projects were undercosted because they included the 25% community contribution. The third cause of query, Chair, is that there was also inertia in the implementation of projects on the part of key responsible heads of department. And the action taken, Chair, Nsama Town Council Management revised the budget and has reduced the number of projects to 17. Another action taken is that the implementation of the projects has since commenced. I wish to report, Chair, that out of the 17 projects, 4 have been completed and handed over to the community, while 9 are above 70% completion, while again the remaining 3 are also above 50% to completion. Action taken again, Chair. Management applied to the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development through the Local Government Service Commission, and the Commission responded to our complaint, and the heads of departments have since been changed. Remedial measures. Management wishes to report that the process of receiving community projects applications will be commencing in the 4th quarter, as was guided by the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. Secondly, Chair, on remedial measures, management wish to report that the appraisal process for community projects applications will be done effectively. I move to the last part of Appendix 8, where we are cited, Chair, for failure to disburse soft loans under Chimbamilonga, which is coming to 2,934,350. Management response is as follows. The cause of the query. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings and wishes to report that the failure to disburse soft loans was due to 1, Chair, delayed transfer of funds from the main CDF account to the revolving funds account by the financial institutions. Secondly, what caused this query was the delayed guidance on engagement of financial institutions and management of the loan component, which was issued as late as 1st November 2022. Action taken. Management wishes to report that the loans were disbursed. Remedial measures, Chair. As management, we wish to report that applications for soft loans will be submitted for approval in the 4th quarter of the preceding financial year. Submitted for your necessary action, Chair.
Honorable Smumba.
Chair, I'm grateful for this opportunity. I'll take you to page 11, Chair.
Page 11.
Maybe before I ask you this question, I would want to know, when were you audited?
Secretary.
It's very recently in 2023.
Yes, month.
October 2023.
Thank you very much. Chair, when the external auditors went to Nsama, they found that there were 29 projects that were approved, and the number of projects completed, there was nothing, 0. Again, number of works in progress, Chair, it was 0. So, which means there are the 29 outstanding projects. Now, Chair, I'll take you to page 44. Just because the appendices are not, just 44. Page 44, let's just go to page 44, 45. The same report, it has got 3 pages up to 40, appendix 5. Chair, they have submitted to this committee that they have reduced the number of projects to 17. That is starting from October, which means November, December, and January. Chair, they have managed to complete some of the projects. And now, I'm interested, Chair, when did they advertise these projects? Since they were just audited in October, because when we talk of October, we have only maybe 3 months ago. When did they advertise these projects? When did they bid? To the fact that some of these projects, Chair, they are even 70% to completion. I would want to know, when did you award these contracts? When you were audited in October and there were nothing that the auditors found that you are doing. Just bearing some 4 months now, the projects are at 80%. Chair, I submit.
Council Secretary.
Chair, I would wish to first thank you for the question. When the audit was done recently, it took account of how we started the implementation process all the way from 2022. Let me refer you to an appendix showing the time these projects were approved initially. It transpired that before, I think, to mention a bit, before I came in, we found that Nsama Town Council has managed to approve 29 projects, and the minister had already approved those projects. I'm looking for an appendix so that, which appendix is that? On page 50.
Let's
On page 50,
let him finish.
there is an appendix on page 50 which is conveying that in May, 10 May, the ministry approved these projects for implementation. As we proceeded towards the end of the year, we failed to award because they were undercosted.
CS, just hold your
CS.
for a while.
Thank you very much, Chair, for that.
Honorable Nyambose.
Thank you, Chair, for that opportunity. Council Secretary,
Yes.
don't take us to those details. We already know the ministry approved. We are reading a report as at October, the time of audit, You have written clearly. You had zero progress on 29 projects. So we know those projects were approved. So what you are telling us, ministers, letters, we know. Tell us what has happened from October to today. 3 months. These milestones you have scored, some of them 100%, some of them 70%. We know they were approved. Answer the question precisely. Not going to the history when, May. That is not of interest. We know. We already know. We have read what has happened for these progresses, milestones scored within 2 months. That's the question.
You take note of that. Hold your peace. Take note of that. Is it on the same question?
Chair, it's me, maybe because you wasn't
Yes.
there. I wanted to make clarity of my question. Chair, when you look at page 11,
CS page 11.
yes, so that we move together. The external audited Zambia Council and found that 29 projects were outstanding, and 29 were approved, which means the number of projects which were completed was 0. Now, that is in October. So now, the question that I had to ask was, remember, you have even stated to say, from October, you had to ask that you reduce the number of projects. Then the number from 29 reduced to 17. That's why the question came to say, within 3 months, there are some projects that are even 80%. When did you award these projects to the contractors? When? And when did they start working on them? That's the question. So that we know that the projects were approved. So from there, as my Honorable has stated, when did you award the contracts? I submit, Chair.
Yes, let's take those two so that we follow smoothly.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, honorable members, for those questions. I would wish to state that we achieved that by deliberate and careful planning. I've attached a schedule of our action plan. If you look at that action plan, it will tell you how we moved.
Where is that schedule?
The schedule of the action plan is attached as appendix page. Yes, page 33.
Page 33, honorable members.
Yes, that explains how we moved and whatever we did, which made us achieve a lot. Chair.
On the same, Honorable Shakafuswa, Honorable Dr. Mwanza.
Thank you, Chair, for the opportunity to ask a follow-up question on the same. If you go to page 12, on the management response, they are saying delayed launch and publication of constituency funds, among other reasons led to the delayment of implementation of the projects. Then number 2, they are saying the initial 29 approved community projects were undercosted because they included the 25% community contribution. Now, Chair, I want to take you to Appendix 4F.
4F.
Yes, on page 41.
4F, page 41.
41.
You did well to be numbering.
So, Chair, if you are there, you find that there's a list of projects there. They They're giving us the approved cost and then the variance. I'm interested in number 3.0. Take note of the variance. The approved cost was 286. Then the new estimated cost is 506. Again on page 6.0, approved cost 85,000, new estimated cost 461. And if you go down, you notice that is the pattern. Some of the projects have been increased by almost 200%, some more than 100%. Yet here, they are saying that they undercosted because they included the 25%. My question is, who was responsible for coming up with these odd bill of quantities that were undercosted? And what is the justification for the new BOQ? Since you are saying you undercosted by 25%, but in some instances, you have raised the project costs by more than 200%. Who was responsible for the odd BOQs?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you for that question. Chair, Nsama Town Council takes full responsibility. It was in charge at the time, and as it is also that we perpetually succeed with problems, we have taken the responsibility. We can't run away from it. The justification, Chair, is that I think it was a pattern of operation, and we have cited this as a reason for this kind of...
Just hold there. Before lunch, or about there, in the afternoon, not this afternoon, we had Mplungu here. And your colleague has just been in Mplungu for 3 months. In the office, 1 month to be precise. For how long have you been in Sama?
I'm a year now.
Exactly.
I'm clocking a year.
The one who has just reported, so to say, acquainted himself so well, you would even think that maybe he's been in Plong for good years. So if you've been in Sama for a year, just go down. That is time enough. That is time enough to be conversant, to take up the mantle and start running. Okay, sir.
Sure, Chair.
Let's put our phones on silence. Even when we are in Parliament, of course they confiscate, they do. But will not confiscate your phone for now. Cool down. But the mentioning of no perpetual problems is no. Your colleague, I'm just giving you an example. Continue.
Thank you, Chair. Sorry for that mishap on the phone. I even thought I switched off. Chair, we take responsibility. Our justification for this was because when we were budgeting, it was not comprehensively done. These were going to end up as partially completed projects, and the government guided us very well that in planning you do not do projects in phases, and this is what necessitated us to restart and make sure that even with the percentage observed by the members that it was excessive, that would have meant the projects would finish than in doing them in phases, Chair.
That Appendix 4 is the list of the 29 projects. Yes or no?
Yes, Chair.
And you've gone ahead putting estimates to all the projects except for 3, where I'm seeing 0, 0. But you've told your committee to say you've knocked down those projects up to 17. Yes or no?
Yes, Chair.
Now your list is still showing 26. You've given the estimate. What should we follow?
Let me allow the director to come in. The
Director of
Works.
Works, yes?
Yes, thank you, Chair. So the 17 revised projects are appearing as Appendix 5A on page 45, Chair.
And this one,
Page,
the one we are looking at.
yes, that is the list of the initially undercosted 29 projects.
So, look at 5.0. What was the cost?
So 5.0, Chair, the budgeted amount was an amount of 108,990.
Estimated cost?
The estimated cost is showing 0, variance also 0.
And then the rest of the others. Because you are saying now page 5, that's where you have, Appendix 5, that's where you have 17.
Yes, Chair.
But for the rest, other than those, you've put the estimates. So what should we believe?
Yes, Chair. So there, the explanation, Chair, is that out of these 29 projects, only 17 were earmarked to be part of the revised, and those were the 17 that were adopted as the revised budget. So for those that are appearing as 0 in the estimated, these were not revised and were not considered
How
as part
many
of the
are they?
17.
How many are they there?
They are just 2, Chair, from the initial 29.
2 appearing to be 0. So 29 minus 2, it's 17.
No, Chair.
Okay. Honorable Simumba.
Chair, in the first place, we would want to know who gave this technical advice in terms of prices to the CDF for them to come up with this, figures of undercosted. Who is that professional officer who gave our CDF an advice that these prices are going to meet these projects? Chair, submit.
That is coupled with Honorable Shakafoswas before we lose track. Let's answer that, then we'll come to Dr. Mwanza.
Thank you, Chair. The advice on the pricing of projects that even resulted in the revision was a joint technical team of Nsama Town Council. It's a technical team of professionals.
Are you still remembering Honorable Shakafoswas' question? If that is the technical team, it is doubled. The Honorable asked why.
Chair, thank you so much. Why the doubling? It came as a realization that if we had gone ahead to implement these projects, we were not going to finish. It would have ended as phases. Hence, the reason why the technical committee was brought in to revise the pricing. I would give an example, Chair, for you to just appreciate, especially that the honorable members of Parliament are here from whichever constituencies. You find that a desk was priced at 1,000. When you look at the cost of a desk in Insama, in the far outskirts, and you look at even a good town like Kasama, Ndola, Kitwe, none of the desks costed less than 1.5 million. So this chair would automatically tell you that much of it was not done, we didn't do a good job.
Chair, we want to clear on this issue. You stated to say you included the 25% community contributions. That is on page 11. One of the reasons why these, I wanted to find out what contribution were the community going to make on desks, since you undercosted the desks, knowing that the community are going to contribute 25%. What contributions were the community going to make on making desks? Chair, submit.
Thank you, Council Secretary. Is it on the same, Honorable Mwanza? Yes.
Chair, I think this is a very interesting topic and a very important issue, which is Council Secretary is not explaining clearly. I would first of all take you to page 49. Council approved 29 projects and had to seek for approval from PLOG office, and on 23rd August 2022 he received a conveyance notice to approve the 29 projects from the PLOG office, of which here, I don't know, you deliberately decided not to put the page where the PLGO approved the 29 projects, because I only see one leaf which has just stories here, but the main one, which is showing the number of approved projects, is not here. It's missing. Are we together?
Following you, Chair.
So we don't even, I don't, because that page is very important, because it will show how many projects were approved by PLG office and to what cost. Because it would lead us to compare with the second approved projects, the 17 projects that were approved. The 17 projects are approved on page 51. On 51, on page 50, the submission is complete. And then 51 shows that the number of recommended community projects for variation, 16, at a cost of 5,600,000, something like that, which I wanted to see from the first approval, how much money did the PLG approve compared to this variation. So from this history, the question is, when you did field appraisal, technical field appraisal for 29 projects, then applied for approval, which was given on 23rd August 2023. It took 8 months up to 3rd April 2023. The first approval of the 29 projects was done in 2022 on 23rd August. Then you reduced the projects to 17 and made an application, and you got an approval on 10th May 2023. That is 9 months down the line. When you get an approval notice for projects, what is the next activity? It is procurement. So what activities took place from the time you received the approval notice for 29 projects down 9 months down the line up to 10th of May? What activities took place towards implementation of community projects? This leads to the questions that my honorable colleagues asked about the progress of project implementation, where you are showing 100%, 70%, because the time that you received a notice to go ahead with procurement was only 10th May 2023. Now 10th May 2023, you do procurement on EGP, or on EGP takes 3 months to procure one project. By October, the auditors visit your office, you are showing 100% procurement and a 70% procurement stage. So did you procure these projects illegally without an approval? Because remember, the period from August to April 2023, there was no approval. You are busy updating your projects.
Secretary.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. That is a very loaded question. I hope I have followed, Chair. The 8 months which the last approval was given and the next approval, and the activities that followed was, number one, we had to cancel the projects. After cancellation of the projects, of course, Chair, you know that cancellation of the projects is also a tedious activity. Then we had to go back to the community and re-engaged them. After that, Chair, we had to as well write to engage the CDF for those approvals. After the CDF for approvals, then we had also to do the tendering and the procurements and approvals from the provincial office. So within that 8 months, we had to undertake, because we actually started afresh in terms of the procurement after we cancelled what was undercosted. Maybe to ride on another question on whether the desk, what kind of community contribution we were expecting, Chair. We are not shy just to admit, Chair, that the expectations that transpired at Insama Town Council was where the locals felt they could do these desks because of the abundance of some resources in terms of timber. But it proved, Chair, in operation that quality was going to be compromised. We have a good number of examples, even from the appendices, of 80 desks.
I think the question, Secretary, the question is not what you are explaining now. The question was, if there was a 25% community contribution, what sort of 25% was that?
Chair, that is what I'm referring to, that the community wanted to use their local timber, which they felt would be procured within themselves without going outside.
No. Yes, Honorable.
Before you came to that seat, you had stepped out, and the Honorable Mutero was there. I guided the council secretary. He has a problem in responding to questions.
No, I was listening outside.
Yeah. Council secretary, a question is very straight. Do desks also need
25%.
25% community? Yes or no?
You're being
What
very
you are trying to explain me from the onset, I am very uncomfortable.
being-
Don't give a story here. We are reading from your report and answer to the points. So before I ask my question, Chair, I just wanted to guide him. I'll beg again if he continues to correct him because he's not answering the questions.
Maybe just to add on, I will also ask you, Honorable Mutero, go
Chair,
ahead, sir.
Chair, thank you so much. I thought you have the answer out of the whole lot you are trying to explain. Because you've said there was inertia. Period. It's your report.
Thank you, Chair.
Yes or no, there was inertia.
It was there. We
Yes,
have
so why are
pointed
you
out-
trying to explain when you've already told the chair and his committee that at Nsama there was inertia? People never wanted to work. People were sitting on their rows. Finish.
Yeah. We will not draw the community that can't, that is not in this committee or that can't respond. So the issue of the community, the timber is not there. What is there is what you have submitted. Yes, Honorable Nyambos, then Honorable Mwanza.
Chair, I wanted to find out, I don't know if my colleagues asked, Council Secretary, on your action taken report on the same question, you went further to say the management revised the budget and reduced the number of projects to 17. As my colleagues earlier alluded to, we would want to see that resolution here. Then we went further to say the implementation of the projects has since commenced. Out of 17 projects, 4 have been completed and handed over to the community, and 9 are above 70% to completion, while the remaining 3 are also above 50% to completion. Chair, the issue that I have, CS, is where you have further said management applied to the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development through the Local Government Service Commission, and the commission responded by changing heads of departments. The inertia that Honorable Mutero has alluded to, and which you have accepted, there was inertia in the council. Would you tell this committee the minute that you used to write to the commission and the inertia that you discovered in terms of officers failing to work effectively, and who are those that were impeding the progress at your council? And are you satisfied now? Because this statement was not supposed to be here, Chair. It is not necessary to the query.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you for the question. I want to refer the members to page 44. In admitting that there was inertia, that is a letter I wrote to the Local Government Service Commission complaining about those mentioned individuals, and with that done, Chair, I got a favorable response from the Commission, and what I have with me is a complete new team of heads of departments, and I'm satisfied, and it is the only reason why we are able to move, Chair. Thank you so much.
Yes.
You changed the heads of department.
Sure, Chair.
The one who is here, go that side. This one, come here.
They were removed from the council.
That's the proper statement.
They
because
have
when
been-
you just say that we changed, then the inertia could still have remained.
Thank you
You have cleared
for that
there.
clarification. We actually moved them from Nsama Town Council,
All
Chair.
right. It's the commission, not you.
Thank you, Chair.
Yes, you
Thank you,
have
Chair.
no power to remove your colleague.
Thank you, Chair.
It's the commission. A quicker one. I'm looking for the 17th project. Where is it? because you have 4 completed, 9 above 70, 3 above 50. Where is the 17th one? Because when you add those numbers, there are 16 projects. Where is the 17th one? And at which stage is that 17th? Director of Works?
Thank you, Chair. So the 17th project, Chair, is the project monitoring vehicle. According to the guidance we were given from the ministry, that was supposed to be budgeted under the community projects allocation. So it's the 17th one, Chair.
So the 17 is the vehicle?
Yes, Chair.
Why didn't you state it? So that the numbers are okay.
It was an oversight on our part, Chair.
Doctor, yes.
I take you to page 46. Just you've explained the project status for CDF community projects for 2022, and I think 4 of them are at 100%. I would like you to choose any of the community projects so that, okay, for example, I just choose rehabilitation of Unsama local court, project number 5. It is at 70%, but I want that one which is at 100%. Some civil works project. I think all the 100% are just supply of desks, isn't it? Wow. Okay. Okay, we just take the same rehabilitation of local court. I would like to know who is the contractor, and when did the contract start? Start date, end date for this rehabilitation of Unsama local court.
Council Secretary.
The director works, can you pick it?
Director, switch off your mic. You can see us.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Honorable Member, for the question. So the project number 5,
Yes.
The rehabilitation of Nsamaloko Court, the contractor is as listed there. It is Chakeko General Dealers at that amount of 447.34. So the start date of this project commenced in September and was initially supposed to September 2023 and was for a period of 3 months. However, the current status is that we have extended the contract up to March of this year, 2024.
Then why was this project at zero at a time of audit? When they came, the auditors, in October, this project, Chair, was at zero when it started in September. Chair, submit.
Council Secretary.
Thank you, Chair. That appears to be a very difficult question I'm not comprehending, but to give what I've understood from that, when the auditors came, they took time to review the processes of our implementation of projects. When they were auditing, it was not necessarily that all the 29, they were giving us a status of what happened in the first process of handling these projects. And they still moved on to look at, they looked at, I don't know if I'm protected.
Let's check page 11 as we are speaking.
You should be speaking, looking at page 11, work in progress.
Let's check at work in progress, page 11. Yes, page 11. Page 11.
Yes.
Yes.
Chair, on page 11, the auditors have depicted the status of 2022 projects, and let me refer to the Director Works.
Director of Works.
Yes, Chair. Looking at the report we are looking, it is up to the period 31st December 2022. So the 29 projects, the approval process started in 2022, but the implementation of the revised 16 projects started this year in the fourth quarter of 2023. So at the time the auditors came, probably
This year we in the fourth.
last year, 2023.
Yes, yes.
Chair, I'm happy. CS, are you seeing that we read what you write? Just the local court, the MP asked, you said your mic?
You are very eloquent.
Your mic, sir. You just said that this project of the local court, he just sampled, started in September. That is when the start date of the project. And the Director of Works says, no, it's not September. Actually, 2022, there was nothing. It's only this year. So we don't know who is telling us the truth. Then, us we rely, CS, on what we read. Don't give stories outside your report. So when we are asking, number of work in progress is 0 in October 2023 during the time of audit. Then you say, no, actually, this project of the local court started in September. Then the director comes back to say, no, there was nothing in 2022. It is actually this year. So this committee doesn't want to be misled. Who is telling the truth? What did we pick from the submissions of the two of you?
The last submission is correct.
Which last submission?
Chair,
You're not sure. Which one?
The submission by the Director Works.
Chair, I wonder why Summer Council decided to hide a lot of information about concerning community projects. Because all submissions pertaining to community projects, you should talk about the name of the contract, the contractor, the period of engagement, and the contract sum, and what has been paid so far to date. So that the status in short, because it helps the committee to understand and even query on the financial state position, query about the retention and so on and so forth. But what you can see here, you cannot get any information. Looking at the 29 projects, the approval process, 29 projects were approved, then 9 months down the line, they reapplied to approve 17 projects. What happened between the first approval and the second approval? What activities happened? That's why I deliberately say pick on any project here. I want to know when it was procured, because I couldn't find any procurement information here. Then just at random, I pick a project. There it is. It falls under 2 different procurement stages, approvals, and there are 2 contradicting statements. So I believe, like, for us to audit the community projects here, it's very difficult with this kind of presentation.
Yes, it's honorable.
Chair,
Honorable members,
with that one, you will make your conclusions. With your permission, we look to another question. Page 6.
On page 6.
Of course, it's coming from page 5, but page 6. Chair, the management is saying the project was a community project found at Warplate. B, the scope of works did not include the floor. council comes to inherit, then you find that the flow is not okay. Why did management decide not to put the flow on the scope of work? You went ahead paying the contractor after completion the full contract sum. Why didn't you follow the guidelines of leaving the retention money? Or maybe in summer, retention period is not there. You've now told us the project is complete and there are pictures. Where is the completion certificate?
Maybe just in addition with that question, Director of Works, can you respond? Why didn't you include the flow in the scope of work? And eventually, we even start seeing the cracks on the wall. The cracks that were on the floor, eventually they go. So why are you building on a weak foundation, on a cracked foundation? Yes, Director of Works.
Thank you, Chair. First and foremost, I'll begin by stating I think it was a serious oversight on our part. However, to give a bit of background, as stated in the report, this project was started by the community and council took it on at that stage of workplace level. So the floor was also part of the works that were done by the community. And at the time of awarding this project, we would wish to state here that we overlooked testing the floor to test its quality. So it so appeared that once the contractor was engaged and started works for the completions, and he completed the project, then the floor depicted signs of weakness, and it was discovered at that stage after the works were done that the floor was also defective. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Shakafuso, Honorable Nyambosi.
Thank you, Chair. Director Works, when the building was complete, did you notice that the floor was defective? And if you did, why didn't you report this matter to the CDF committee to allocate funds so that the floor could be done properly?
Yes.
Just from where Honorable Shakafuso started from. On page 6 of the remedial measure, it's a confession by the management team. And they are saying that the management will ensure quality analysis tests are properly done before completion of community projects. Before completion community projects start. Chair, it comes down to what Honorable Shakafusa said. Why didn't you do these quality analysis tests before completion? And what guarantee that your statement will be accepted owing to what you just neglected to do? I submit, Chair.
Okay, Dr. Mwanza, you give them a short one.
Thank you. On the same.
Okay,
so this in Sumbu Day Secondary School is falling under which project list amongst the 17, or is it, and if it's among the 17, where, which number what? Because I tried to look for it, I didn't check. This number?
Yes, Chair. So this Sumbude Secondary is a carryover of the 2021 approved projects.
Where you are showing 2021 projects, where is it listed?
Director, do you have?
On page 29. On page 29. Page 29, status report for the 2021 CDF community projects. So this Sumbu project
Yes, Chair, sorry. I've been guided that Nsumbude is actually part of the 2020 approved CDF projects, not 2021. Apologies for that, Chair.
So, so is it
2020.
Is the director of works is just
20
being guided by who?
2020. So the project has been there from 2020 up to 2024 now.
2024 now.
Okay. And then, of course, the first priority when we received the enhanced CDF was to complete ongoing projects. And you go to formulate a BOQ on an existing project. In your job description, in your scope description, you're saying the scope of work. This is actually on page 5. The scope of works included constructing of superstructure, and the rest are explained. Is the floor part of the superstructure or substructure?
Director of Works.
Thank you, Chair. Even as I hand over to him to conclude the question, we want to, as management, unreservedly state that, as indicated, there was a lot of inertia, and I've seen even the questions that have been raised are just pointing to one thing. I think the council did not do what could have been expected. If the director of works could...
With that, no, actually with that, then it concludes our meeting. That you have admitted that there is nothing. We are going around, and then when you push you very much, you say it was an oversight. No, we are sorry, we are not supposed to. Have you seen now at uncoordinated? This report is Council Secretary. And it goes back to one word, the inertia that exists at that local authority. People are not working. People are not working. People are not doing what they are supposed to be doing. And, you know, this same money that is not working in summer is the same money that is working elsewhere. The same money that is working in Ivovwis, the same money that is working in Manyinga. Because you are given the same amount of money. You're given the vehicle, you're given administrative component, and yet everybody is given with the same measurement. So if you are not doing what you're supposed to be doing there, you have no one to blame but yourselves. But I'm glad that you have come out actually that there is a lot of inertia at your institution, and people are not working. People are not doing what they are supposed to be doing, even when they are given money, even when things are supposed to be done. We are not supposed to be talking about 2020 projects today, 2024, with all the monies that have been coming there, and we are still dilly-dallying. And the director of works can go at a project and go and okay a project with a cracked floor. Meaning even me as a lay person would know that if there are cracks down there, definitely those cracks will eventually affect the whole. And that's exactly what happened. So when you take over from the community, you are technocrats, you are engineers, you are experts. First you look at when we want to put up the structure here, and we are going to put even the roof. How is the foundation? Where are we starting from? How can you start painting and then you find the floor is cracking? A Council Secretary want to urge you to do more with your management. It's not the explanation here. Please do not be deceived that when you go with very good language here, people will listen. Will not. Because we read the report that you submit, line by line, word by word, and get to understand as to why, out of everyone in this country, the auditors are able to bring you here before this committee. Because once you are brought here, it means there is a weakness. And that's the weakness that we want to find. That's the weakness we wish to cure. by interrogating and trying to find the root cause of that query. So this report, Council Secretary, it falls far below the acceptable standard of a report that should be submitted to a committee like this one. So we are not happy with this report, and we wish, we want to urge you to work as a team. We want to urge you to work as a team, and the management should be able to respond. What the internal has is what the director of works has. What this person has is what the other person has. In short, you are so coordinated in your responses and you are coordinated in your works. In that way, then you will feel our monies are in safe hands. But as it stands today, no, we can't. From reading from your report, not what you say, from your report, we feel our monies are not safe, or our monies are underutilized. And we feel for our people, you know, that are yearning for development and they want to have these facilities everywhere. Clinics are being delayed. Classrooms are being delayed. Above all, desks that you know have a deadline, they are being delayed. We are still waiting for a 25% from the community over a desk. Can't even try to explain about that. Those are things that you immediately say, I think this sentence is not supposed to be there. On your own. Thank you very much for making an appearance before this committee, but we are urging you to continuously work very hard. It will not be business as usual. That's why our permanent witnesses, your parent ministry, the local government, is always here, is with us, to hear and see how you explain these issues. With that, let me now withdraw the immunity that was conferred on you and allow you to go back to Sama. Thank you very much. All the best.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, members of this committee.
An acute diarrheal infection caused by ingestion of food or water contaminated with the bacterium Vibrio cholerae.
Symptoms of cholera include vomiting, diarrhea, and dehydration.
How do you prevent cholera?
Be sure to drink and use safe water that has been boiled or chlorinated.
Wash your hands with soap and safe water before handling the food or after using the toilet.
Use clean water to wash your vegetables and fruits. Avoid eating foods from the street that have been exposed to flies.
Always eat food that is completely cooked and hot.
Make sure to visit your nearest health care center when you have suspected cholera cases.
Remember, prevention is better than cure.
Yo boy, yo maps, kampana kandalam. Bamani funsa wa iyama kukondoli bezuma.
Just turn it up a little.
Pe una pezela gelo yuna chinja. Samani sunga careless. Kumutima ali permanent. Bamani funsa wa iyama kukondoli bezuma.